Good afternoon, everyone. This is Linda Jordan. It is Tuesday, March the 30th. Hard to believe the end of the month is almost here. So for those who do not know me, my name is Linda Jordan. I am a executive coach. I am a diversity and inclusion trainer, and I am also a real estate investor. And so today we're going to be talking about funding. But before we get started, I'll introduce my guests. But before I do that, just a reminder that I have an upcoming passive income using rental property workshop that will begin on April the 24th. And so if you're interested in learning how to buy your first rental property, please join me. I'll put the link in the comments. And it is a 50% off discount. So the code is early bird. I'll also put that in the comments as well. So today I have a treat for you, and it is an interview with Miss Sevealyn Smith, and she is the founder and managing partner with Bluefield Property Solutions, which is a real estate redevelopment company in Raleigh, North Carolina. And she's been a resident since 1980 in Raleigh, and she is a real estate investor, independent private money lender. And if you're interested in getting into real estate, that's definitely an area that you want to learn more about. How do you get money for your deals? Sevealyn is also a certified private money consultant, and she's offering a program that provides consulting, coaching, and connections for real estate investors and individuals who are looking for strategies to get out of debt and build additional wealth. Bridges to Financial Freedom introduces strategies that have been proven to work and allow participants to identify the strategy that they connect with to achieve their financial goals. Sevealyn joined Fortune Builders Mastery several years ago, and it's the real estate educational wing of CT Homes out of San Diego. And she's also received private money broker certifications with the Lee Arnold Systems of Real Estate Investing. And without further ado, I won't read everything, her entire bio, but she can definitely give you more information. But with no further ado, here we have Ms. Sevealyn Smith. Welcome, Sevealyn.
Welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you having me on. And hello to everyone.
Awesome. So for those that are joining, we were supposed to start at 2. We had some technical difficulties, but we worked all that out and we are still here. So even though, we get challenges, you just keep trying, and that's the way it is in the business world, in life in general. When you have obstacles that face you, you just keep trying until you get it done. So that's what we did today. So we're a little bit late, but we are here. So thank you so much for joining me today, Sevealyn.
Thank you.
I have provided the audience with a brief introduction about you, and you've been on the show before. But for those who have not heard you, is there anything additional you'd like to share?
Well, I would like to share that before coming to the real estate environment, that I've worked for 38 years in education. So I am still a teacher at heart. And so what this program will do is to work with teaching strategies that I've had to learn as I've moved into retirement and into the real estate arena to develop funds and to help others do that. I just thought this was a good way of being able to work with and help others in the real estate environment.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, for those that are interested, real estate investing is an opportunity that allows people to have financial freedom. But there's things that you need to learn about it so that you can do that. So we'll start with one of the questions is tell the audience a little bit about where you grew up and some of the influences that you've had that got you to where you are today.
Well, I grew up in Bluefield, West Virginia. I'm a West Virginia girl. And in the mountains, we're small town, but very connected to just about everything there. I grew up in a large family. My mother was a foster parent. And so she was the major influence for us and for many of the community people. One of the things she did that has inspired me to go where I'm doing what I'm doing now is the fact that she always talked to us about saving.
Mm.
Saving was a primary topic that she always used with every child that came through the house. And there was about over quite a number of years, about 70 years, she worked with about three generations of children.
Hmm.
So that was her main thing. You have to save. And from that, that sort of inspired me to go into this. I wish I had learned the lesson earlier. I heard it, but and when you retire and you look at what you have, you go, "Oh, that's I saved." But then there's this second part: how do we use our money that we save to build more wealth? And so
Right.
that's where we are now.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, that's great. I mean, to have someone who influenced you to get you to where you are today. And we as individuals always have influencers, but sometimes we don't take, what we've learned from our influencers
Mhm.
and practice it in today's
Mhm.
society, or in our life in general. And
Correct.
so that's good to know that you took that influence and used it to help you navigate to where you are today. So tell us a little bit about some of the experiences from your childhood to adulthood that influence your interest in helping others.
Well, my mother, as I mentioned, was a foster mother, and she was also the person in the community that many other young family members, as well as young people who become parents, needed help. She was there, and she was the one that always looked after kids. She worked, but she still was there for just about every child that came through. In fact, it was just funny. I was on a Zoom call with old church, my home church, and all of a sudden, there was this big conversation about her that I wasn't expecting just because over all these years, was always helping. She was always doing something for someone else. And that is, and I'm happy that that's been instilled in me because that's really what I want to do with this. This is really about trying to help others get to a new place in their life,
Hmm.
and some of which we may learn together, but a lot of it is from my experiences that I've had and challenges I can hopefully share so someone else doesn't make those same mistakes.
Right, right. Yep.
Yeah, so
Absolutely. Yeah, your mom sounds a little bit like how my mom was, and she
mhm,
was the person that always took care of people in the community, whether it
mhm,
was taken to the doctor's office or, taking them wherever they needed to go to the grocery store. But
mhm.
and so that she instilled that in all of us,
Yeah, yeah,
give
mhm,
back to your community. So
right, yeah.
that's absolutely wonderful. So they kind of grew up the same.
I know. Yeah, I've just got a lot of children by other mothers, as I call it.
Right,
Really do.
exactly. So, still speaking in that same vein, how did you become interested in financial education? And a lot of people probably don't think about education when you talk about finances,
Mhm,
but learning how to make money is very important. And so, if you don't have the right
mhm,
skill
mhm,
set,
mhm.
you can make money but also lose money. So, tell us a little bit
Exactly.
about that.
Well, it started again with my mom. And when we grew up, we would go downtown or we would be in the neighborhood and someone may give us a quarter. Back in
Uh-huh.
the day, a quarter went a long ways. We can get a
Yeah.
nice big chunk of candy or something with that. And so we would get, money and we would politely thank them. And my mom would say, now you need to put this up for your education.
Ah.
And so, every time someone would give you something, she would tell us, put it up for your education. And finally, one day, a lady gave me a quarter, and this time, instead of me just saying thank you, I said thank you, and she said, "So what are you going to do with it?" And her expectation was saying, "I'm going to go to the candy store and buy me some candy, get something." And I said to her, "I am going to put this up for my education." Well, ka-ching! I doubled my investment right there with that word. So I got another quarter. And it was interesting. So that piece sort of fueled the idea of understanding the saving.
Right.
The educational part also came by watching what my mother did. Um, she worked, you know, and she didn't. She wasn't. It was. She was a cook. By the way, that was another thing they talked about. You know, she could cook. She should have been an entrepreneur and opened a lot of restaurants. Okay, because she could have made. You know, we could have been very, very well off. But she did. She was a cook. She cooked for the YMYWCA. She, worked there for 20 some years. Um, and even with that, in a small house, she knew that if she was going to take care of kids, she needed to expand the footprint of the space.
Right.
So she would get with, back in the day when we had the vocational area school, part
Yeah.
of the school, she would get with the instructors there that taught the um, real estate, how
Uh-huh.
to build things. And when she would do that, she would say, I need to draw out, what I need, and I'm going to add a room to the house. I need this done. And she would draw out the specs, and then they would help her with that.
Right.
And then she would go down to the bank and take it to the bank and tell them, explain what she wanted to do and how big the room was going to be and how it's going to be used, and the whole thing. And she would get a loan. I've never seen anyone could get a loan so easily. She got loan. She added on what was used to be a 3-room house, and it became 11 rooms.
11 rooms.
And she helped with laying the foundation. She did all the work. So that's the other part. She really was doing the real estate. Now she learned by seat of pants, as I call it, because that's what she had to do. But she had others, gentlemen, with kids and other folks who came in and helped with
Right.
a lot of it. But that was the other thing. She cooked and she built onto the house.
Wow.
I like to build. I like to build the building part, the cooking part. She didn't. I stayed out of her kitchen, but
Oh, wow.
I really did understand later on what she was doing, and she was able to do that. I didn't realize until I went to college that we were supposed to have been poor. We didn't talk that because she was a very positive person. She never, if she had a child with a challenge, she never said, "Oh, you have to go to the special school." We
Right.
never talked. The expectations everybody could do.
Mm.
Everybody could do. So that positive reaffirmation is what made you move further than you thought you could go.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so that's the influence.
Wow, that's powerful. I mean, a woman who can do so many things and have so many talents and skill sets. I mean, that's amazing. But, years ago, women had to do a lot of things.
That's correct.
So, today we still do a lot of things, but it's not as hardcore, I guess,
Labor.
as, the labor intensive, very
Mhm.
exactly, not as labor intensive. So they didn't have the chance of sitting in the AC and in a nice comfortable chair. They were out in the
Mhm.
fields working. And
That's
so
correct.
totally different, totally different. So now that you've shared around your education, your experiences and how you got into financial education or financial literacy, what made you decide to choose real estate investing?
One of the things was that I was at a point where I thought I was going to end up retiring early. And I had sort of dabbled with the idea of doing real estate back early in I'd say 1990 or so. I started trying to take a little course on how to do real estate. And I really needed the education piece. I could do it like my mom did. My mom just went in and said, "This got to be done," and boom, there it was.
Right.
But for me, I wanted to try to get the education. But as I was doing the first time through, I was going, I'm not getting enough help. I've tried to make the calls in to get that, and I really did not feel that I was going to be able to do it, particularly with the full-time job. And as I came to this next realization that there was some financial situations that may have me retire early.
Mm.
I happened to be listening to the TV. I had TV on, but I was doing schoolwork as usual.
Yeah.
And I kept hearing this young man say, and of talking about real estate. And normally I was a little frustrated. So I used to just, if I heard real estate, I'd just turn it off. I just turn it off because I went, okay, I've tried a little bit of that. But this young man started by saying, you real estate and you have to have education and education. And every time I looked, I kept hearing education. So I had to stop
Hmm. Yeah, because
because
education goes, yeah, you're an education person.
yeah, and I'm going, first thing I didn't hear and I didn't see the big Lamborghini sitting out front and the big mansion that I'm used to seeing on these and the big boats out in the middle of the water and none of that was in this presentation. And
Uh-huh.
so I just stopped and I went, education. Oh my goodness. This young man is talking about education. And so I stopped and listened, and they were they were coming to Raleigh, where I live now. And I was for a day just to do an intro, and I went, okay, let me go to this. Let me actually go, and I did. And then I realized, okay, this sounds like a much more sane way of getting into
Mm.
real estate. And then I went to the next thing until eventually I did join Fortune Builders. And Thin Merrill and his team gave just, it's an excellent education program. And if it's applied, if you can systematically apply it, you can do very well with it.
Right.
Um, so that's how I came to the interest of doing this. Now, of course, my job didn't end and I still had to work. And sometimes, as you know, you're in corporate America, so I'm sure you being in corporate America, ironically, there are some parallels. You don't just have one job. Sometimes it's two, three,
Two or
and
three.
whatever else somebody didn't catch along the way.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
that's where I was. And the primary thing for me while I was doing that is that the service that I felt, and I know God had given to me was helping the students. My primary interest was always the students, regardless of what. Because one, they're your customers.
Right.
They are also our product.
True.
Okay. And that's the piece. So, I had to say, okay, I pin this because I got to take care of my kids. I call them my kids. All of them my kids.
Yeah.
All, however, 1,000 many would come. If they came through my door, they're my kids. And so from that, I had to put pin in it. And then I started back a little bit 2018 after I retired. So I'm moving. And in the process of seeing that many of us with what I call limited finances of retirement, had difficulty just trying to get private money lenders at times, or trying to get, getting hard money lenders that with, you felt comfortable doing things. It dawned on me that, well, maybe instead of me trying to do brick and mortar and all that, I need to go where I can hopefully serve more of my people, as I call them, my peeps. As we call it.
Your people.
Yeah. And that for me became, because I'm an educator, I felt, okay, maybe working on the financial piece was important.
Right.
The second thing is watching my students struggle with financial aid and knowing that they will have extreme debt. Most students come out of school with $30,000+ if they're lucky. That's the low end
Yeah.
of
Low end.
debt.
In
I mean,
state, by the way.
yeah, in state. Now, can you imagine the private school where I was? That was even worse. That was 120, at least $120,000 in
Whew.
debt if you were on financial aid. And
Right.
if your parents were able to pay, you better not miss a class because the parents are truly coming out of pocket. You can't. I mean, it's just amazing. And I realized that we did these little vignettes of financial literacy classes. Um, as an honors program director, we really, honed in on that. But it was not systematic. And I realized when I talked to other institutions, there's nothing systematic about financial education.
Right.
And that is that economically we're doing things that are it's not good for the country, not for the students, not for
Right.
people as they become adults. And so the goal of this program that I'm putting together called Bridges to Financial Freedom is to help folks understand about how to go from saving, where we started,
Yeah.
to being able to save, not only save, but to put away enough for reserves,
Right.
to be able and to actually assess what they're doing all the way through their lifetime, so they can build wealth, so they can give back to the community. I love giving back, but it would be great if I didn't have to worry about, okay, I'm gonna give this much, I'm giving this because this is what I feel. But
Right.
you want to do that, but then you also want to have the freedom to be able to do even more.
Sure. Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
and that's the purpose of me moving to this area of
Yeah.
life.
Well, it is totally needed because when I was in high school, we weren't taught anything about financial literacy or education
Mhm,
other than
mhm,
business administration, which I do
mhm,
remember,
mhm.
and it taught you how to write a check,
There you go. Mhm.
but it didn't tell you how to put money in the bank.
That's it. That's it. And if you recall, when you would go to school, you would have the different banks out there offering you credit cards.
Right.
I could not understand why they're sitting in the student union offering me a credit card when
Yep.
I'm on financial aid, or kids and students don't understand that. They're
Right.
just happy to get, oh, I can
Credit
get
card.
a credit card.
Yep.
And it was just amazing. Now I didn't take a credit card, but it was funny when I did get a job and applied for a credit card, I still got turned down. Go figure. Go figure. Does that even? I had a
Yeah,
good
that doesn't
job.
equate because you
Good.
have a job now.
Hmm. Hmm.
But that's just another way that I guess society kind of looks at it, or the banks do, because their students coming in and they know they might need a credit card because they might get a job, but the parents are going to take care of the bill. But
Yeah.
it's interesting you say that. You're right. You can get a credit card, but once you are done with college and you're trying to work and pay your bills, you don't get a credit card.
Hmm.
Yep, exactly. So it's a lot that goes around financial literacy, and I
Yeah.
think if more people had a better understanding, or if kids had a better understanding before they went off to college, or
Yeah.
adults,
Hmm.
we would probably
Yeah.
make better decisions.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, we make better
Um,
decisions. So, Sevealyn, how does someone get involved in your program, and how do they reach you?
well, one of the things that they can do is, and I think I've given you the link
Yes.
to share. Um, they can put their information in the link that's they're going to see on your page, and I too will have links out. It's to help find out a little bit about the person, but they can also reach me by going to my Facebook page, which is also the Facebook page is BF Property Solutions, um, and you can go there and you'll see information about what I'm doing and how we interact. Um, you can message me. You can also reach me at um, B, and I'll just the initials for my business is BFPS LLC .cash at gmail.com.
All right. Okay. So, all right, I've got that in there. Excuse me. And then I'll also put So you have a gift as well for the audience.
I do. I do. When you fill out your information form, you will be invited to come and have a 30-minute consultation with me to learn more about the financial education program, and basically just to help you get started to talk about any issues you may have that you want to work on, to make sure that you are in good shape to with your finances. You will also get with that a financial planning sheet
Mm.
that will allow you to put all your information in so you'll know what you have, what you don't have, and don't be afraid of it, because first time I did it, I almost passed out. But you need to do that because that will help you determine what you need in order to be self-sufficient.
Mm.
Will help you grow. And then my goal is to help everyone. So while you real estate investors who are looking for lenders, I'm working with them to make sure that they have all their pieces in place just to apply for a hard money loan, what we call hard money loans, but also to apply with private money lenders. I'm also looking to work with private money lenders as that are currently in the business of lending money, to
Okay.
help them connect with strong real estate investors who are looking for the funds.
Okay.
Okay. But working on that strategy of, you need to do 2 or 3 deals. Most private money lenders, like myself, I like someone with experience. I'm not very good with trying it cold turkey with someone who's not finished a couple of deals. Okay.
Right.
But private money lending is a real good way to build your wealth if you want to do it from the passive standpoint. And so the goal is to work with groups who have not, explored that idea so that they will understand it. And I'll have some modules coming online in April that I will invite you to join. In there, we will do introduction. We're going to go through what we call, there's 10 steps to becoming financially independent. And we're going to work through those steps. Some will start higher than others, but that's why you're going to do the assessment piece with that assessment, personal financial plan. We're going to invite um, folks in the industry to come and talk. So we'll have someone from the financial sector to do self-directed IRAs.
Okay.
We'll have someone to talk about the financial piece using, the life insurance type of thing. So, just everything to get you financially healthy and different aspects of your life.
That's good. And I like that you brought up the insurance part because, I saw a commercial the other night saying, we as individuals are probably overly insured. And, I never really thought about that
Hmm.
because all I know is, if you get a house, you get insurance, you get a car, get insurance,
Hmm.
you know,
Hmm.
you need insurance for dental, medical, vision, all those things.
Exactly.
We're
Everything.
probably so overly insured that I know myself, I personally haven't taken the time to look at every vehicle to see, do I really need that type of coverage?
Hmm. Hmm.
But we get so busy in our day-to-day lives, we forget
Right.
about it. So I think what you're doing is excellent. And for those that are listening, definitely connect with Sevealyn because I need to do that myself. But we are probably as individuals overspending. Um,
Yes. Hmm.
and if we are overspending, at least we should know what we're spending it for.
Right. Right. Be
And
able to
try to
determine if
benefit,
it's logical. Hmm.
right? And try to benefit from it because nobody's got money just to throw away, and
Right. Hmm.
especially if it's direct deposit, you don't even think about it. But
Tell
if you
me
can
about
save an extra $20, hey,
it.
that adds up.
Exactly. One of the things, I'll just give everybody a tip right now. Even if you have direct deposit, because most of us do, even for your main job, it just shows up, and voila, there it is. Set up your savings account at the bank and have so much automatically transferred from checking over to savings, period. just
Yeah.
every month, period.
Yeah.
And stay out of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because if you don't see it, you don't miss it.
You see it? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't miss it. But as soon as you see it, you're like, well,
Yeah.
I might need that.
Yeah. Yeah. But just let it transfer over. Sometimes you can actually set it up where you can do it so that certain part goes in the checking and the other part goes in savings.
Okay,
If
awesome.
but you can get that, and we can talk about how that can be done. But it is a good way to show that you're still trying to put something away. We got to start by saving, because if you spend everything, well, there's nothing there. So what are you
Right.
gonna do?
That's true.
So you want to start with that. So that's our starting point. That's where we jump off. And I certainly look forward to helping anyone who's interested in, building their wealth, becoming stable in their finances. And I'm here to help.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for that, Sevealyn. I think the people that are listening will definitely take you up on that because, now is the time to start saving. We're not getting any
Mhm.
younger. And we all need to save, regardless of whatever age you are,
That's true.
so that you have something in your back pocket. So for those that are listening, I will put all of her information in the chat so that you can connect with her and definitely get that free gift of a 30-minute consultation that includes a fun checklist. And so with that, are there any last words for the audience, Sevealyn?
Well, it's been a pleasure to be on with you. Thank you, Linda, so much for having me on.
Absolutely.
And to all our listeners, I wish you the best of health and the best of wealth.
Awesome. Great. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for those that are listening. If you're watching this on replay, do hashtag replay. So at least we know that you did take the time to watch it after today's show. So thank you so much again, Sevealyn. It's been a pleasure. Every time I meet with you, I learn something new. And so that's the beauty in connecting with others. And so whatever I can do to help you, I'm here to support you as well. So thank you
Likewise
all.
with you.
Absolutely. Thank you all for joining us today, and look for the connections in the chat. Have a fantastic afternoon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.